Okay, so in this video, we will factor this given expression as much as possible. So we have a difference of two terms that are factored completely, and there are two common terms, x squared minus 1 and x squared plus 1. So let's factor as much as we can. So we always factor the term that has the smallest exponent. So negative 5 is smaller than negative 3, so we factor from both x squared minus 1 to the negative 5. Then for x squared plus 1, negative 8, negative 6, negative 8 is smaller than negative 6, and so we factor x squared plus 1 to the negative 8. Those are the only two common terms, and so now we open up our parentheses and write down what's left over from each of the two terms. So when we factor a power of a given term, we are subtracting the exponent from the original, and if we subtract negative 5, we get positive 5, and so negative 3 plus 5, positive 2. And we took the entire second piece out, so then this term is gone, and therefore this is all that's left out of our first term. And if you're not sure about this, in your head, multiply this back in. So this times this, we add the exponents, 2, negative 5, negative 3, and then, of course, times the second term. Then minus what's left of our second term here. Well, we factored all of this term out, then this term is gone. And then for the x squared plus 1, we subtracted a negative 8, so that's plus 8. 8 minus 6 is positive 2. And again, if you're not sure, think of multiplying this back in your head. This times itself to the 2, well, we add the exponents, negative 8 plus 2, negative 6, and times the negative 5 power of x squared minus 1. So that's the first step. We have factored two common terms, and let's try and simplify what's left over. And if you notice, we have here a difference of squares, where a is x squared minus 1, and b is x squared plus 1. So what we have here is a squared minus b squared, and we know that, of course, a difference of squares factors easily as a minus b times a plus b. So let's see what's left over. So first factor, a minus b. And we have to be careful that we are subtracting all of b. So this will give us negative x squared, negative 1. Then times a plus b. And now let's simplify each of these two factors. The first, x squared minus x squared cancels, and we're left with negative 1, negative 2. The second, negative 1 plus 1 cancels, and we're left with x squared plus x squared, 2x squared. Let's regroup the negative 2 with 2, sorry, as a negative 4x squared. And as this is our simpler factor, we write it first, and then what's left over. And we can make one more observation. X squared minus 1 is itself a difference of squares, as 1 squared is 1. So we can factor one more time. So if we factor this, we will get x minus 1 to the negative 5 times x plus 1, again to the negative 5. And finally, the last factor, x squared plus 1 to the negative 8. And finally, if we wanted to no longer have negative exponents but positive exponents, we can send these three terms down to the denominator. And so we would be left on the numerator with simply negative 4x squared over x minus 1 to the positive 5, x plus 1 to the positive 5, and x squared plus 1 to the positive 8. And this completes the factoring of the initial expression.